Vinaka. I welcome you to my channel once again. I thank you for viewing my other videos, or if you are viewing this for the first time, welcome you. I am a teacher here in Fiji, and I take year 13 and year 12 English. This is an initiative that I was going to take because some kids weren't able to come to school, and they needed some explanation on the notes that I was sending to them. So if this is not only helping my students at the school that I'm currently teaching in, I hope it helps you as well. So I welcome you once again, and I hope you've watched my other videos or you're going to watch them. This is just a complementary tool towards your revision. I'm sure your English teachers have given you your notes and you are revising them. So this is just to help you. It's not something that you are to solely depend on for your revision. Continue to ask questions to your teachers. You can go on the Fiji government page, Fiji Ministry of Education, and look at past year papers and apply the knowledge that I'll be discussing or have discussed. So without further ado, we'll dive right into our registers. Now this is going to be just a brief discussion on summary of registers for year 13. So in the previous video I had discussed on language of religion. Now we will be looking at language of law. Now language of law is also it's also called Legalese language. So this is the second year 13 register that I'll be discussing. To reiterate what I've said in the previous video, 4 registers are given in your exams. You are only to choose 2. Each register in the exams are 6 marks. So in total, you will receive 12 marks if you have done it well. And this is one of the scoring sections of the paper language, your registers. So do each section well, and I guarantee you will pass with quality marks. So I wish you all the best in your revision. Okay, moving on. Now, language of law or legalese, the tone is neutral, impersonal, authoritative, commanding. Once again, neutral. So it'll be very, there wouldn't be any biasness in the tone. There'll be lack of personal pronouns, lack of emotive language, so it will be impersonal. Authoritative and commanding, this is when imperative verbs are used. Now if you remember your language of instruction from year 11, there's plenty or there are a lot of imperative verbs that are used, and imperative verbs are commanding verbs. So mix, pour, it usually requires that you do something, so it's commanding. It's in that word, so commanding verbs. The tone is achieved through the use of legal jargons. Legal jargons, polysyllabic words, and passive voice construction. Polysyllabic is where there is more than 2 syllables in the words. So environment or adjourned. Adjourned would probably be 2, but there's so many other examples that you can gather that has more than 2 syllables. So polysyllabic words and passive voice construction. So active is subject, verb, object, and passive is inverted, so it becomes the object first, verb, and then the subject. So that's what you mean by passive voice constructions. The mode is written. The purpose, it is generally to inform, so for referencing or for offenses. Then you have your purpose, once again it's there to instruct. So if it's for a penalty, what are the penalty that follows after you've done something. So recently, while doing this video, there was a penalty that is given for those who are not wearing face masks. Those are also instructions that you have to do. So what will happen if an officer or if a government official comes to you and says and penalizes you for not wearing a face mask? So those are what you mean by instructing us what to do and where to pay, etc. So those are your purposes. Now the sources where you will get this text or where you will get this register. Now they can come from laws, constitution, penal code, permits, etc. Now linguistic features. Now we are going to now look at the features. So you have linguistic features. Now this isn't highlighted like the other register that I discussed, because language of religion has mostly linguistic features. So the non-highlighted are your non-linguistic features. So features here in linguistic for language of law or legalese, it has to be precise language. There has to be no ambiguity. Ambiguity or things that are ambiguous aren't clear. So it has to be as precise, as clear when you are dealing with legal language. Next you have legal jargons. Example here under, therein, summons. Those are legal jargons, and there are many examples that we will look at, or you will look at when you're looking at samples from previous years' external papers. Those are legal jargons. Then legal jargons, the purpose, it's there to make the register formal. Archaism. Archaism are archaic words. Does this look familiar? All right, if you said it is also in language of religion, you're correct. Archaic words is also present in language of religion, or they are known as obsolete language, or words that are no longer in use. So you don't usually use this when you're talking to your friends, or when you are listening to the radio, or these are words that are usually said in formal settings. So hereby, forenoon, these are what you call archaism or archaic words. Now redundancy, these are extra words used to remove any ambiguity. Now there's a lot of redundant words that are being used in language of religion. Once again, it's there to remove ambiguity. So everything it is repeated just to remove any ambiguity, so it can be as clear as it can be. So redundancy is a linguistic feature. Then you have circumlocution. Circumlocution, a roundabout wording using several words where few words could be used. So where few words can be used. Now once again, it is there for to remove any ambiguity. So you can always have circumlocution, redundancy, then all these things. While looking at the sample, you can deduce from there why they are being used there, because this is a language of law. They deal with things of legal matters. So you can't take it to court and saying, oh, I don't understand this because it was ambiguous, etc. They try and take away any form of doubt in the document that they give. So that's what you mean by putting in redundancy, putting in circumlocution. All right, then you have passive voice constructions. This makes the tone impersonal. Now remember, when you're looking at passive voice construction, you are more looking at the object rather than the subject. So passive voice construction, the person that is receiving the action is taken into precedence, or is more important than the person or the thing that is doing the action. Okay, sentence structure. It has to be compound or complex. These are used to give extra and precise information. Then you have polysyllabic words. Polysyllabic words, this gives the language an officially formal tone. Now polysyllabic, once again, they are words that have more than 2 syllables, okay, or more than 1 syllable, sorry. So they are used there to make the tone more formal. All right, moving on. Now let's look at non-linguistic features. Non-linguistic features, they are the bold print. They are the bold print. They are to get the reader's attention. Now this is a common occurrence for all your registers. If they have a bold print or a print that is given a heavy lettering, they are there to get your attention. Or they can also sometimes note some kind of importance. So you have to take notice of it. Numbers and parentheses or parentheses, these are for clarity and precision. Numbers and parentheses or parentheses, this is for clarity and precision. So the date will be written in numbers, or the figure of your fine, the amount that you have to pay, it will be written in numerals. This is for it to be clear and precise. Capital lettering, they are for clarity, and the dates, it's to make it factual. Another linguistic feature also that you can take note are sometimes the logo. You can have logo as well. You can have the stamp, all right, the stamp or signature. This can also mean where it shows its you can use it for referencing purposes, all right, or you can use it also to designate that it comes from an official document. So it is to avoid forgery, it is to avoid corruption. So these are some things that you can see. Like you can just write on a piece of paper, do not litter here, or you'll be fined $800 by the Fiji government. But if there is no stamp or if there is no logo or seal, okay, then it is not valid. So these are also indicators of its validity and its authenticity. So that's where you have the logo, stamp, or signature. All right, thank you. You can practice what you've just learned by looking at past year papers. You can go on to the Fiji Education website and Ministry of Education website, and you can look at samples from past year papers and apply what you've just revised, and it can also help you become more confident. You can time yourselves when you are committing to these questions, so you can see how fast you can get, and don't dwell on these questions as long as you can. You'll use those precious moments or precious time in other sections, which is your writing sections, because they produce more marks. So hope you have learned something, and please comment down below if you need me to either send you the Word document that has these summary of registers. And I thank you also for those who have commented on my previous videos. Thank you. I'm trying really hard to also keep up with what you're requesting, but at the same time, I'm also a teacher, so I'm bombarded with all these things, not only trying to update my YouTube channel, but also to my students in the classroom. So I thank you for all those who have patience, who've been watching my videos, and I wish you all the best in your village. Sorry, in your revision. Nakubale.